You only really get one bite of the cherry. You've got to put a great case together to show somebody why they would almost be stupid not to invest in what you're asking them to invest in. So my 3 powerhouse strategies for success are networking, the ability to raise finance, and just doing more than anybody else does. I think those 3 things have always served me very well in their own different ways. I mean, if we look at them individually, networking, listen, if you've followed me for any period of time, you know that I talk about networking, building great relationships, meeting great new people, nurturing those relationships, building partnerships, because ultimately we go a lot further together than we go alone. I think in my earlier days, I've always been interested to make relationships and to meet new people. But I think one of my biggest failings when I was younger was probably having the ego to want to do everything myself, to think that I had to be the sole owner. But as I've gotten older, I've realized that I can do so much more by sharing things, by making a much bigger cake, even though I've only got a smaller part of it, and that can't be done without partnerships. So to get those partnerships, I've always met great people, built great relationships. I mean, networking is so important to that. I mean, I'd probably say that I spend 40% of my working life meeting new people and nurturing great relationships. Secondly, I said the ability to raise finance. Now, it's quite fashionable nowadays to talk about bootstrapping businesses and starting businesses with no money. And I'm not dissing that strategy. Many businesses can be started with no money. Many businesses can be grown with no money. And I think also a lot of business owners make the mistake of trying to raise too much capital, which actually makes them worse off than if they didn't have that capital. But there's so many businesses that cannot grow, that cannot even be started without finance.
If you like deep dive conversations, then you are going to love my other podcast, Stripping Off with Matt Haycox, because this is where I sit down with the biggest names in business, entertainment, celebrity, media, politics and beyond to strip back the bullshit, the PR spin and the scripted success, and just get to the truth. Who's the person behind the mask? What does it really take to win? No fluff, no filters, just raw, naked truths and the unfiltered stories from those who've truly made it. So go find it wherever you listen to your podcasts, or hit the link in the show notes and get stuck in.
A lot of businesses are very capital intensive. I mean, if you look at some of the businesses that I've got bars and clubs, I've got an e-com business, I've got a property buying business, I've got a finance company. All of those businesses are very, very capital intensive businesses. I couldn't have them if I didn't have the ability to raise money. I guess this ties in a little bit with networking, because I need to meet the people to be able to raise the money from. But raising finance is a skill in itself. How do you know what finance you need? But more importantly, how do you present that to an investor? It really is an art form. You only really get one bite of the cherry, and you've got to put your best foot forward. You've got to put a great case together to show somebody why they would almost be stupid not to invest in what you're asking them to invest in. And thirdly, I said doing more than other people are prepared to do. Might be a generalization, but I think the vast majority of people are lazy, or if they're not lazy, they certainly give up too soon. They don't do enough. They think that things can be done in a 9 to 5. They take the shortcut, they take the easiest possible route. I always hate the expression, work smarter, not harder. Not because I don't think you should be working smarter, not harder, but you need to work hard before you work smart. You should be working hard and you should be working smart. And, so many people would achieve so much more if they actually just did more. I think with the right strategy and the right work ethic, you cannot fail to succeed. So they're my 3 powerhouse tactics for success: networking, ability to raise finance, and the desire to do more than anybody else. Other people may have 3 different tactics, but I guarantee you, if you put those 3 tactics into your arsenal, you can't fail to succeed.
Every day